Folks, here on All In, we have the privilege to speak to a variety of people representing a variety of industries. One of those is the roofing industry. For example, if you've ever seen the show before, we talk to roofers all the time, frankly, because it's such a big industry, something we all can identify with. And as I always tell you, I'm a homeowner first and a talk show guy second. I get the industry. However, one of my favorite things is getting the story behind the business. I have a great story for you today. I look forward to sharing it now. The name of the company is Renown Roofing. We're going to start with the name. I'll get to him on that in a second. But his name and our guest right here in the studio, Adam Butorf, here on the show. Adam, welcome aboard. How are you?
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you being here.
You know, I'm fascinated, something you don't know about me. You don't know a lot about me, but one of my things here on the show, I love the names of businesses, and I'm just curious, is there a story, Renown Roofing?
Absolutely.
The word renowned is so interesting.
The story of that is I sat down with my late wife and I, we were projecting, like, what do we want people to think when you think of our company? And we were getting adjectives and ideas, and we came up with the word just renown popped up. Like, we want to be world renowned. We want to be recognized. We want to have a great name, that we care for people and care for our team. And we were shocked that it actually was open and existed, and there came the name, Renown, Roofing and Construction.
Well, looking at the notes today, that was the overriding factor to me, is the fact that you're so cognizant of how important it is with your team and your customers and what they're feeling and how they feel it and how they're wired and everything. We're going to get into that, but I think it makes a little more sense if you can tell us about the other part of Adam, where you're an author. You've written books. You're a behavioralist. You got stuff. How does that all equate into roofing? But I want to back up. I want to give you props. Tell me about the books. What are those about?
So I was fortunate enough to be a part of two different books that were hit #1 on Amazon best-selling list, which is kind of crazy. One is Resilience, Turn Your Setback into a Comeback, where I tell my story of the loss of my late wife and then how that springboarded in my business. And the second book is Success Habits of Superachievers. And so I was honored to be in there with people like Darren Hardy and Les Brown, and I mean, some big names.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian Tracy and Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. And we just talk about, all of us authors talked about, we wrote a chapter about what were the success habits of our lives that created the success in our lives. And so it's something that everybody can relate with and connect with. And so I was very fortunate and proud to be a part of that.
Well, good for you. And yeah, that word relatability jumped out on me because you're a relatable guy, and you can relate to business owners, you can relate to customers, you can relate to potential customers, and you can certainly relate to your staff. But as you talked about in the notes, and I totally agree, you relate to people in different ways. You got to see how they're wired so you can talk to them at their own level. You put a lot of effort into that to your business, and it shows because you've been doing this now for going on 10 years.
And that's true. We launched a company because I have a degree in psychology, and I'm also a certified human behaviorist. I care about people who are wired, what they think, how they feel. Because let's be honest, we all do things based on our emotion.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a portion of our business, of our job, that we can get done by just what we have to do, but there's a big part of it, it's what motivates us, what drives us. And when you're in an environment where you're cared for and loved well, that's what I call it. It's a weird word to use in business, but when you feel really cared for and their identities and their goals attached with the business, it transforms everything. And so they care for clients how they themselves are cared for by us.
Well, and I'll put it even simpler. The successful businesses are the ones who treat the staff the way they want the staff to treat the customers.
100%.
Yeah.
Nail on the head.
And that's why you've been around so long. So how is it as far as getting staff in? I mean, to get them to play on the same playground as you?
It's not hard because we do a lot of assessments to figure out how they're wired. And I tell people all the time, imagine if you could only do what you're naturally wired to do. That's all you did. Can you imagine what an amazing world this would be?
Absolutely.
Most people hate their job because they work for a crappy boss, but two, is they're not wired to do the things they're doing. But if you're wired for it, it naturally comes out of your energy, it excites you, right? And so you want to do more of it, and that's what we do in our business.
Well, and especially where you have different people wired different ways, but they're all there for the common purpose, and they realize, man, the person I am actually contributes to the end game of everything, and I'm accepted as this person. They're not trying to change me.
Exactly. We're not trying to change anybody. We're trying to figure out those strengths and amplify the things you're naturally good at, and then everybody knows everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and it's like we're this fighting team, which is amazing.
Well, I must say, I mean, your background with the book, and sorry about hearing about your wife, by the way, but all of that frankly, you could be in any business with all that stuff. How did you decide to go the roofing route?
What's interesting is God has a funny way of working things out, right? And so I had 2 other businesses that 2008 and 2009, the crash happened.
Yeah,
it's like,
good time to be in business.
great time to be in business, right? And so God had to humble me, truthfully. And so humbled me to go into roofing because, let's be honest, it's not really sexy. It's not like, ooh, I'm a doctor.
But it's necessary.
But it's hugely necessary.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I love to be a part of people when they're in need. I love to be there to help them. When a storm happens, when chaos happens, I'm the one that comes in and takes care of them in an industry that's prevalent with being taken advantage of.
Correct.
And so that's why we wanted to launch it. That's why we wanted to get into it. And that's why we did it.
And that's why we named it Renown. It's not mediocre roofing. There's a lot of those, not with that name exactly, but that's where they are.
Even our telephone number, I wanted to make it resonate with people. It's 972 quality.
Nice.
Right? So it's nice and easy to remember. It's because that's kind of the things we stand behind and who we are.
Well, it's the type of business owner that all small businesses should become, and it's the type of business mantra that all small, and I'm totally convinced in the 6.5 minutes I've now known you, you would be successful in any business because you understand the importance of employees, of staff, because you're only, it's the whole weakest link theory. I don't want to get all tried. But
it's about people.
It's about people. You take care of the people. They'll take care of the people that you want to take care of. It's all.
I like what Zig Ziglar said. If you help enough other people get what they want, you'll eventually get what you want.
Correct.
By helping everybody else. And it's a mentality, and that's what I've trained my staff, to my clients. So.
All right, so skipping to the business side of things real quick. On the roofing side, are you commercial, you residential, you do new construction?
Both. We tell people all the time, says, look, if it has a roof on it, we do it.
Okay. Well, it's trying times these days. The one word that popped out, you're talking about getting the roofing business to help. It's now official with the pandemic. You're an essential business.
There's no question.
You probably always felt that, but it's official now, isn't it?
I always felt that. It's like, we're essential, no matter what.
Well, you truly are essential, and a big part of the roofing deal, quite frankly, Brian, the homeowner talking here, is insurance. And when I get my roof done, I don't know how to talk to the insurance people. You're not an insurance person, but you deal with them every day. You're able to represent your customers with the insurance people, not as an insurance person, but to make sure you can talk insurance language better than the customer.
The thing I love, one of the joys of my life is hearing clients say, how did you do that? How did you get that? How did you get them to do this? I don't understand how that even accomplished, from my residential to my commercial clients. A big church we did, like, I don't understand how this even happened. I said, well, we deal with them day in and day out. And
Correct.
Early on, I got my insurance license because I wanted to understand what they do. So just to have that aspect.
Wow.
I haven't kept it up, but I got it to understand, to really understand the market. How better can we serve our clients?
Well, it's a great way, not just serve it, but as an advocate, because you know the shortcuts.
No question.
Whoa, wait a minute. It says here they get this. You're trying to give them that. Let's back it up just
Matter of
a
fact,
little bit.
the things we enjoy the most are clients who say, oh, you can't help me. Insurance has already denied me. Wait a second. You're the ones I love to help. Because
that's the starter pistol.
Well, that's like a Braveheart. I'm putting on my sword. I'm like, we're going to battle for you. We're going to get taken care of. So that's the fun part.
Well, and you have the whole team around you because you lead the team. You are the quintessential leader in that. I love this one. Managers say go, leaders say let's go.
Exactly.
You're that guy.
You don't ever want to ask people to do things that you're not willing to do.
No, not at all. For a variety of reasons, not the least of which you know the shortcuts. So you can, but most importantly, you're going to lead them through it and be there for the people. Well, I think it's just a great story. Again, we were chatting off the air. You started back in 2012. You're still going strong. You've established that base with your staff. I can imagine where the people that work for you, where they may go. You're the type of guy that wants to encourage them to break off and do their own thing too.
The thing I love is when the greatest reward I have for me with my staff is to see them blossom, to transform, to go from here where they thought they could be to come to me and say, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. I've grown more personally, financially, personally, on all aspects.
It all starts at the top. Adam, thank you. It's a great story. I appreciate you being here. I hate that we're out of time, but you've got a great story. Thank you for letting us share just a little piece of it here on All In.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Appreciate you much. Folks, appreciate you too, but don't run off. We're coming right back.